Robert Proctor. Multisoft is one of the leading software companies in the direct selling space. You know, there's a lot of software companies right now who are offering various services. We've narrowed it down to just a handful of the key companies that we feel our clients should take a look at. And depending on what your business is, depending on what type of product or service you offer, one company may be better for you than the other. But Multisoft has been a very good all-around company, and they have offices all across the world. I'm not sure how many, Robert will tell you, but they are available to you 24/7 almost anywhere in the world. So Robert Proctor, why don't you come on and take this to the next level.
Mike, thank you for the kind introduction. I appreciate it greatly. Thank you very much. I want to remind everyone, make sure to go ahead and use the app that you were introduced today. Make sure you do the surveys. Check out some of the links that are on the app. I think you're going to find a lot of exciting things on there. Today, I want to talk to you about the 4 must-haves in looking for an MLM software provider. And the first thing, in my opinion, is the number one thing that you've got to look for, and that's relationship. Looking for an MLM software application or an MLM software company is kind of like looking for a date through an application like Tinder. You're going to swipe left, you're going to swipe right, you're going to look for that ideal relationship. And the relationship with your software provider is kind of like a relationship with your family. For those of you that have kids, those of you that are married, sometimes you don't always get along. But when you do have an issue, you move forward, you get past it, and you go forward. This is the same thing that you're going to look for in an MLM software provider. So when you're looking for an MLM software provider, the first thing is, how does it feel? Is it comfortable? Do you like the person that you're talking to on the phone? Or are they trying to rush you to the sale? If they're focused on how much does the software cost, how fast can we get you launched, they're only focused on the money that they can extract from you. This is going to be a long-term relationship. Just like your spouse, just like with your kids, you're going to spend more time with your MLM software provider over the next 3, 6, 12 months, probably than you're going to spend with your family. Especially those of you that are starting a new company, there's a lot of things that you've got to do. So when looking for a provider, look for a relationship. Look for somebody that's been in the industry for a long time. Like our company, we've been around for 33 years. We've been there, done that. We've seen just about anything and everything that you can see in the industry. Look for a relationship with a company that has all of the resources that you're going to need. Interview their employees. Look for resources that they have relationship with, whether it be merchant account providers, website designers, commission payment platforms, merchant accounts. There's so many different things that you're going to have to do. You want to make sure they're going to bring all of those relationships to bear for you and your company. Look for testimonials. Not testimonials that they put on their website, but look for testimonials from third-party companies like Capterra, Capterra.com, Google.com. Google.com has great reviews. Look on Google and see, does the software company you're looking to engage for your company that's going to work with you, your distributors, your customers, your team, do they have reviews from third parties that have actually been reviewed and verified, and not just reviews that they've put out there themselves, because you don't know if those are true or false. If you look at somebody like Capterra, Google, they've actually taken the time to review those testimonials and those reviews to make sure that it's the right company. Again, this is a relationship. Talk to their employees, talk to their compensation plan developer. It's not about price. This is the number one thing that most people think that they're going to look for. Price is actually the last thing that you should talk about. Price is pretty simple. Most companies are going to have a one-time setup fee. They're going to have an ongoing monthly fee. What you want to make sure is that you're not getting locked into a relationship where you've got to pay for training after the project is set up, where you don't have to pay for customer support every time you call the company, where you don't have to pay for all of the improvements in the software that they should just automatically roll into the software for you. There's a lot of questions to ask. Remember also, this is a long-term relationship, and on average, most MLM companies will change software providers 3 times before they find the right software company to work with. So make sure that you're not locked into a contract that's going to be 12 or 24 months. In fact, look for a contract that you've got to get out of jail-free card. It's like I said, it's like a relationship. You need a divorce clause. You need a separation clause in there that doesn't hold you hostage for the next 12 months with this software company. So take a good look at the contract. Pay close attention to it. Interview the employees. Look at the companies that they're already providing software for. In fact, ask to speak to some of their existing customers. Not just the customers that they think are going to give good reviews and testimonials. Go take a look and talk to some of their customers that they've worked with for 3 months and for 3 years. Find out what they think about the software company. And if that software company is not willing to introduce you to some of their customers, probably means they don't have a lot. Again, make sure that you've got a team that you're working with globally, worldwide, because guess what? You're going to be 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This is not a Monday through Friday banker's hours. So when you've got support issues, you need to get hold of these people. They need to help you out. So again, relationship is paramount in everything that you're going to do. The next thing we're going to talk about is compensation plans. So let's go ahead and go to the slide, and then we're going to talk about compensation plans. Continuing on with our 4 must-haves when looking for an MLM software company. Again, I want to remind everybody, use the app that you have on your phones. It's been provided. Make sure to do the surveys and check the links. Second most important thing, remember, first most important thing, and this may be part of a survey or part of a quiz, is the relationship that you're going to have with your MLM software provider. Item number 2, compensation plan. I know a lot of you are thinking it's pricing, it's the software. Number 2, compensation plan. You're only going to have one time, one chance at a first impression to reward, recognize, and incentivize your distributors. You're only going to have one chance for that compensation plan and those commissions to calculate accurately, on time, every time, and all the time. Here's what you need to think about. Your distributors are a volunteer army. And just like your employees, if your employees expect to be paid every other Wednesday like our employees do, your distributors expect to be paid when you tell them you're going to pay it. One of the biggest failures that I've seen in the industry, and why we get a lot of companies coming from failed software companies, again, remember in my first part, most MLM software companies are going to go through 3 providers before they find the right provider. What's the number one reason? Compensation plan. A lot of software companies say, yeah, they can run your compensation plan. They know what it's supposed to do. And guess what? When it comes time to pay your volunteer army, like your employees, on Wednesday, and they're expecting that check in their account, they're expecting to see the commissions in their back office, the software didn't calculate right. Because the software company that you selected, that wasn't one of us, didn't know what they were doing. They didn't take the proper time to understand the compensation plan. This is why you want to be introduced. Remember what I told you in the first part? You want to talk to the team members that you're going to work with. Like we have a compensation plan director. We have several compensation plan managers. You want to talk to the compensation plan director, not the sales guy, okay? The sales guy is going to do what? He's going to say yes, yes, yes. Why? He wants to make the sale. The most important thing, regardless of how good the software looks, how well the back office and the shopping cart, it can all look great, but if it's lipstick on a pig, it's lipstick on a pig. Compensation plan and calculating commissions is most important. So my number one recommendation when it comes to compensation plans is, first of all, once you've selected the software company, or even before you select the software company, make sure that they've documented the compensation plan. How do you plan on rewarding, recognizing, and incentivizing your distributors? What are the ranks? What are the requirements for those ranks? And what are the rewards when they get to those ranks? So spend some time and talk to the compensation plan director, the compensation plan manager, the programmer that's actually going to spend the time and code your compensation plan. Because the days of years ago of just having a really simple unilevel that paid 4 or 5 levels, or having a 1/3, 2/3 binary, those days are gone. Okay, we're now in the competition mode with Amazon, with eBay. Your competition is the big house, big companies out there. They're selling products and services. Competition means you're competing against other MLM companies out there. So you need to have a compensation plan that's robust, that does 2 things. One, puts money in somebody's hands that just started in the company. Number one reason that people drop out of network marketing companies, they never got a check. A lot of companies are egotistical and say, we're not going to pay our distributors until they've earned $25 in commissions. Put $2 in somebody's pocket, okay? So again, go through the compensation plan, all of the rewards, all of the ranks, all of the requirements, those specifications. Every bonus that you're going to calculate needs to be gone through with your compensation plan director. And make sure you get a delivery date, because I know all of you, when you launch your company, you want to get it up running tomorrow, okay? You want to tell your distributors when they're going to be able to start enrolling people, start bringing customers in, start selling, and most importantly, when they're going to start earning commissions. Number one thing is, if you tell a distributor they're going to get a paycheck on a Wednesday at 12 o'clock or on a Friday at 10 o'clock at night, they need to get that check. So besides just properly documenting the plan, properly reviewing it with the compensation plan director, you need to run some tests, okay? So 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks before you're planning on paying commissions, you might want to have a sandbox set up where you put some temporary transactions into, you put some customers into, you put some distributors into, and you've actually run commission calculations to make sure that the commissions are calculating the way that they should. So that when you tell your distributors you're going to pay them on this date, you've actually shown up and paid them on that date. So again, compensations plans can be really simple. They can be really complex. There's binary, there's unilevel, there's matrix, there's stair-step breakaway, there's coded bonuses, there's matching bonuses, there's bonus pools, there's generational bonuses. I can name off 40 different bonuses I know that we have programmed in our software. You need to make sure that those commissions are going to calculate accurately on time, every time, and all the time. Again, this is the second most important thing. We're going to talk to you in just a moment. I'm going to talk to you in just a moment about the third most important thing, and that's the software. Okay? What is the software going to do for you, and what are your expectations? So let's go to the next slide, third slide on software. So the third most important thing in the 4 must-haves in looking for an MLM software provider, obviously, is software. Okay? This is what's going to run your company. This is what is going to make your first impression when somebody comes to your website. This is something that your distributors are going to need from the back office, your customers, your shopping cart, your website management, your content delivery, your warehousing. Everything has to do with the MLM software. Now this is where the term lipstick on a pig becomes really important, okay? Anybody can go out and get a WordPress website and make it look absolutely beautiful, so that when you go to their website and you think you're buying software, you see this beautiful painted website with these beautiful painted pictures, and yet when you actually go to access the software, it looks like something from 1980. Now, if you go out and you Google MLM software, you're going to get about 1 million results for MLM software. Okay? There's companies here in the United States, there's companies in Pakistan, there's companies in India, there's companies in China, and it looks really good from the outside. Guess what? When it comes time to service and support, if you pick one of those companies and it looks really good and the pricing is really good, okay? Don't look for pricing. Pricing is the last thing you should look for. Obviously, if you've got a budget, you've got to be working with a software company that can work within your budget. But as far as the look and feel of the software, do not judge the back end of what you think you're getting on the front end of what could be lipstick on a pig. You need to get a demo of the software. In fact, they should actually give you a trial for the software for a week or two that you can go in and play around with it. Like I said, there's a bunch of us here in the United States. Take a look at the back end of the software. Is it modernized? Okay? Does it have a modern look and feel, or does it look like something that was built back in 1980 or 1990? Okay, and you know what that looks like. If you go into Amazon and you go to your credit cards or you go to your order history, you see really good software. You should actually judge your software based upon Amazon. Give you an idea, the #1 shopping system out there in the world right now is Shopify. Now, that's not the best thing for integrating with your MLM software. They just happen to be a good shopping cart. We have emulated the best of breed when it comes to Shopify. Coupon systems, checkout systems, shopping cart systems. You need to take a look at the software and are they coming up with ideas on their own? See, we've got about 18 developers and we could come up with great ideas for shopping carts. Why should we do it? We emulate the best. And the best software companies are not going to try to come out with the best new shopping cart or the best new coupon system. They're going to emulate best of breeds. They're going to look at the Shopifys of the world. They're going to look at the eBays. They're going to look at the Amazons of the world, and they're going to say, what are they doing right that we can implement into our back office? Also, software needs to be scalable and expandable. What you are today and who you are today is not who you're going to be or what you're going to be in 3 months or 6 months or 2 years or even 5 years from now. You're going to start a company and probably have, maybe a couple hundred or a couple thousand distributors in the first few months. You're going to hope, obviously, everybody wants to get to 10,000, 100,000 and 1 million distributors. Even the biggest software or biggest MLM companies don't have 1 million distributors. But is your software going to be scalable enough that when you do hit that critical mass of 10,000 orders a day or 50,000 distributors or 100,000 transactions a day or $1 million in commissions per month, is it going to be scalable enough that it's going to be able to handle it? A lot of companies that we get that come to us from other failed software companies is because they hit a max on how long it was taking to calculate commissions. I remember one company came to us years ago. They were running a weekly compensation plan, and get this, it was taking 10 days to calculate the commissions. They had about 1 million distributors in it. If you're expecting to get paid every 7 days and it's now taking the engine that, like our software that calculates the commissions 10 days, now your distributors every week are going to start getting 3, 4, 5 days behind. okay? Is it a scalable cloud-based system, or is it something that's sitting on their server in their office? Our software is a scalable cloud-based system. In fact, we only have one version of software. A lot of companies have multiple versions. They'll sell you version number 1, somebody else version 2, somebody else version 3, and somebody else version 4, and then they're going to come back to you and the other people that bought version 1, 2, and 3 and say, hey, guess what? Would you like to upgrade to version number 4 for this amount of money? And all of a sudden the hand comes out, like Oliver syndrome. Please, sir, may I have some more? We don't play the Oliver syndrome. Our software is a single source software solution. You want to make sure that you understand what you're getting into when you license software. Every time we update the software with a new shopping cart, a new coupon system, a new shipping provider, a new commission calculation bonus, a new payment gateway, anything that goes into the software rolls out for everybody to take advantage of. We don't charge for those additional fees. A lot of software companies out there, they're going to continue to put their hands out and ask more, 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 more. Is it going to be an international system? Meaning, does it support multiple currencies and multiple languages? Most of you on this conference right now, you're probably going to launch a company in the United States, and you're not even thinking about expansion for 12 months, 2 years. But when you go to expand into Mexico, does it support Spanish language and pesos? When you go into Hong Kong, does it support simplified Chinese, traditional Chinese, and HK dollars? Is it going to support you as you want to expand around the world? So take a really good look at the back office that you're going to be licensing. Make sure that you get a demo. Make sure that you ask the right questions. Ask more questions now before it's too late to make sure that you're working with not only the right company, but the right software system that's going to provide those solutions for you and your distributors. We're going to talk about the fourth thing that's most important in just a couple moments. Again, I want to remind everybody, use the application that's on your phone, take the survey, go to some of those links. There's a lot of good information that we have on there, as well as all of the speakers that you've been listening to for the last 2 days. I hope you've enjoyed the first 3 parts of the 4 must-haves to look for in an MLM software provider. Again, I want to remind everybody, use the app, do the surveys, check out the links that are on the application. I want to talk to you now about the 4th most important thing. After you've selected the software company, after you've got your compensation plan, after you've got your software, this is going to become the most important thing. How are they going to support and train you? Again, I mentioned earlier, your business is going to be 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, Monday through Friday. There are no banker's hours in multi-level marketing, okay? Amazon doesn't take a day off. They don't close at 5 o'clock and reopen the next morning at 11 o'clock. Same thing with your business. Your distributors most likely are going to be on after their work hours, okay? Your problems, your issues. And let me preface one thing, and this is something I should have said earlier. When talking to a software company, if they tell you, whoever you're talking to, that there's never going to be a problem with the software, light your hair on fire and run away as fast as possible. I'm going to tell you something more than software. There is going to be a problem. I don't know when, and I don't know what, but there is going to be a problem. Just like I said, in a relationship, like a marriage, sometimes you argue with the kids, sometimes you argue with the spouse, but the next day you've got a good relationship and you go on. There is going to be a problem. Don't let any software company tell you that it's going to be perfect. And doing this for over 20 years now, again, we've been here for 33 years, I've been doing this for 20 years, we don't know what the issue is going to be. But you've got to have that relationship to solve it and move forward. And guess what? Your issues are probably going to occur at 4 o'clock in the morning, at 11 o'clock at night, on a Saturday or Sunday. Guess what? Most software companies, they're working banker's hours. They're Monday through Friday, they're 9 to 5. You want to make sure that you've got a company, and we're one of those companies, that has an international team that's going to support and train you. Okay? Your support and training needs to start at the beginning. Is when you decided to buy the software, how did they onboard you? Did you get introduced to a project manager? Do you have a dedicated project manager that you're going to work with there? Are you working with the salesperson who, guess what, their number one concern is the next sale, not you? Are you working with a dedicated project manager that's going to talk to you every week and take you through the things that you need to get your company launched? Who's going to follow up and hold you accountable as much as you're going to hold us accountable to get your company launched? Okay? What type of support and training are you going to get? Are they just going to throw you some videos or a book and hope that you read it? Or are they going to give you live training? You need to go through live training. Okay? You're going to get into a software, and guess what? It's not your banking software. It's not your QuickBooks software. It's not the back office to Amazon. You've got content. You've got commerce. You've got compensation plan. You've got website design, merchant accounts, payment gateways, sales tax, commission platforms, managing your website. I could go on and on and on about all the things that your software should do. How are you going to get properly trained? Are they going to train you during your hours? Okay? You may not be available until 10 o'clock at night. Well, if they're a software company running banker's hours, they're not going to be there at 11 o'clock at night to train you. They're going to tell you, go watch this video. You want a company that's going to train you when on your time, not just when they're available. You're going to need to get trained on compensation, on commerce, on content, on everything to run your website. If you license or buy software from a company that says they're going to do everything for you, guess what? Every time you need something done, you're going to be pulling out your wallet, you're going to be writing a check. You need to have a software application that empowers you to do everything that you need to do on your time and on your dime, and not just be beholden to the software company. So training is number one. Support. When you need support, when that problem happens at 11 o'clock on a Friday night or 4 o'clock on a Saturday morning, are they going to be available to support and train you? Is there a help desk that you can use, or do they just do email support? If it's a company that just says, hey, when you have an issue, send us an email, well, guess what? There's no escalation process to that. There's no, I've got a critical issue or an emergency issue or an improvement, okay? Make sure the company that you're working with has a proper onboarding system, a proper training system, a proper help desk system, a proper ticket system, and somebody that you can call. I know with our company, you're going to have a dedicated project manager, you're going to have a dedicated client relations manager, you're going to have a dedicated account executive, you're going to have a dedicated compensation or compensation plan manager, you're going to have a team. Whichever company you're going to work with, make sure they're not a one-man show, okay? Make sure it's not just two guys sitting at home working on their computer that, yeah, they built a good software company, or maybe they only launched one or two companies. Again, lipstick on the pig. Anybody can take a WordPress site and make it look really good. And today, in our COVID environment that we're experiencing, everybody's working from home. Make sure it's not just one or two guys that are working from home. You need a worldwide global team to support your company. Because again, as I said earlier, you're just going to launch in the United States right now, but in 6 months, 12 months, a year, when you decide to go to Hong Kong or Germany or Japan or China or one of, outside North America hours, do you have a team that you're going to be able to get a hold of? Are they going to charge you for training? Typically, if you're paying well for software and you're paying those monthly fees, guess what? Your training and support should be included. I know software companies out there that require that you pay X amount of dollars each month to buy credits, that just like insurance, if you don't use those credits, they expire. Okay? So you're paying for support and training that you never use. And I'm not making this stuff up. This is real software companies out there that will charge you for training every month that if you don't use it, you're going to lose it. There's a lot of things when it comes to the support and the training. You need to make sure that you've got a global team that's here to help you when you need help, because I'm going to guarantee you, you're going to need help. Okay, MLM software is a unique thing. It's not just another shopping cart. It's not just another back office. It's a lot of unique things. So make sure, again, the things that are important. Relationship. Number one thing to look for is relationship in this industry. Number two thing to look for, make sure that they understand that compensation plan, that they're able to recite that comp plan back to you, that you know that they understand what they're talking about. Number three is going to be the software. Again, make sure that you get a chance to take a look at that back office, take a look at what you're going to be licensing, because you're going to be in this relationship for a long time. And again, number four, support and training. How are they going to onboard you? How are they going to support you? And how are they going to train you? So I want to thank you guys for the time that we've had today. We're going to go ahead and take a 10-minute break right now. After our 10-minute break, we're going to have some really good speakers coming on. We're going to have Brian Brown from Avalara is going to talk to you about sales tax and compliance. We're going to have Sean Egert from Hannah Shea. Sean is one of the premier recruiting companies that's going to find your C-suite people. He'll talk to you about recruiting for your company. We're going to have Colt Passy from CMS and Nexio. Colt's going to talk to you about merchant account requirements, compliance within obtaining a merchant account, and then we're going to have Dan Lundell is going to talk to you from the Sheffield Group about some things. So I want to thank you for the time that we've had today. Again, remind you to take a look at the survey and the app system. Looking forward to talking to you on one of our breakout seminars if we get a chance to talk one-on-one. And we're going to wish you luck on the launch of your network marketing company. And have a great day and enjoy the rest of the seminar.